bleeding on the bathroom floor. A bloody palm print was discovered along the wall. It contained DNA from both Arias and Alexander. Yeah, she was really motivated. You think? Wow. But they're taking photos. Are you kidding me? Who does that? Wow. Souvenirs, huh? Wow. On July 9, 2008, Arias was indicted by a grand jury for first-degree murder of Alexander. She was arrested at her home and extradited to Arizona. She pled not guilty, of course. Arias gave several different accounts about her involvement in Alexander's death. She originally told police she had not been in Mesa on the day of the murder and claimed she last saw Alexander in April. Yeah. Arias later told police that two intruders had broken into Alexander's home, murdering him and attacking her. 2 years after her arrest, Arias told police she killed Alexander in self-defense, claiming she had been a victim of domestic violence. Really? Wow. Wow, she could make up her mind what she wanted. I remember that because it really got stupid towards the end with her. I mean, she knew what was going to happen. And then, this abuse stuff started coming up. It's like, really? Talk about grasping at straws. On May 18, 2009, the court ordered Arias to submit IQ testing and to be tested for competency. A motion to reconsider the defendant's motion to disqualify the Maricopa County Attorney's Office was denied. Later, in 2011, defense filing detailed the efforts Arias' attorneys went to obtain text messages and emails. Initially, the prosecution told defense attorneys that there was no available text messages or received by Alexander, and then was ordered to turn over several hundred of them. Wow. Mesa Police Detective Esteban Flores told defense attorneys there was nothing out of the ordinary among Alexander's emails. About 8,000 of them were turned over in June. The trial commenced in December. During jury selection, Arias' defense attorneys argued that the prosecution was systematically excluding women and African Americans. Oh, here we go. Yeah, you do, don't you? African Americans. Prosecutor Juan Martinez said that race and sex were irrelevant to his decisions. Judge Stevens ruled that the prosecution had shown no bias. Okay. In opening arguments, they sought the death penalty right away. Arias resented by appointed counselor Elkirk Nurmi and Jennifer Wilmot, who argued that Alexander's death was a justifiable homicide. Whoa, you got to love that one. Committed in self-defense. But she's taking pictures of it. That makes sense, right? It was self-defense, so I thought I'd take some pictures before and after. Okay. Ryan Burns testified that Arias visited him in Utah on June 5th, and that he and Arias had spent several hours hugging and kissing on a large beanbag. Who cares? She told him she had cut her friend's hands on broken glass while working at a restaurant called Margaritaville. That's original. A detective testified no restaurant by that name had ever existed in the Eureka area. No kidding. At the time, Arias was working at a restaurant called Casa Ramos. And she later testified again that she cut her finger. I had a bazillion margaritas to make. Wow, there you go. I'm sure that swayed the jury. The prosecution argued that since a .25 caliber round was found near Alexander's body in a week before a gun of the same caliber disappeared, where Arias lived with her grandparents, she had staged a burglary and used the gun to kill him. Martinez claimed Arias had stalked Alexander and slashed his tires twice. In addition, in the final days before his death, Alexander had called her a sociopath and the worst thing that had ever happened to me, and was totally afraid of her. I can see why. Yeah, I remember that, her trial, and wow, she was like relentless. Arias took the stand in her own defense on February 2013, testifying for a total of 18 days. That is insane. The sheer length of time Arias spent on the stand was described by criminal defense attorney Mark Garagos in a report compiled by the Associated Press crime citer staff as unprecedented. On the first day of her 18-day testimony, she told of being violently abused by her parents, beginning when she was approximately 7. Why do... Yeah. Oh, that blood loss she had. She lost her memory, Chris. Blood loss from her cut finger. Why do these people immediately go to, I was abused when I was a kid? Really? Why did you never say so before? I'm sorry. I find that just an excuse to justify what they did. Bull. Yeah, blood loss gave her amnesia there. Why do they do that? I don't understand. Arias, I mean, she told being violently abused. Really, nobody ever knew of it. That drives me crazy. Arias testified that she rented the car in Reading because a budget website gave her 2 options, one to the north and one to the south, and her brother lived in Reading. Whatever. Yeah, isn't that crazy? On her second day on the stand, Arias said that their sex life included oral sex and anal. She said the anal sex was painful for her the first time they experienced it together, and she considered oral and anal sex to be real sex. Alexander did not, and he believed these forms of sexual activity were technically not against Mormon rules. What the hell is wrong with this woman? Besides what we know. Seriously. She said that they had eventually had vaginal sex, but less often. A phone sex tape was played in which Alexander said he wanted to zip tie her to a tree and have anal sex with her while she was dressed as Little Red Riding Hood. I mean, yeah, why is this all in trial? I don't understand that. But I guess the point was to show she showed no reluctance to participate in these, sexual topics discussed. And supposedly, this is good. I know. I mean, I don't. All it did was prove that she was, this was consensual here. Okay. And then she testified Alexander secretly found young boys and girls sexually attractive, and she tried to help him with these urges. Oh my God. This woman is just... Shoot her now, please. She testified that her relationship with Alexander became increasingly physical and emotionally abusive. Yeah, from her. And began screaming at her, after which he body slammed me on the floor at the foot of his bed and taunted her, saying, "Don't act like that hurts," before he called her a bitch. Well, she was. I'm sorry. And Arias said, he went to kick me again. I put my hand out, and she held up her left hand to show her ring finger was crooked. Let me break it for you. I know, important information, right? She's a nutcase. Arias is, this is in her own mind. You know what I'm saying? According to her, the dysfunction of their relationship reached its climax when she killed Alexander in self-defense after he became enraged following her dropping his camera, forcing her to fight for her life. Those pictures showed otherwise. It really showed her fighting for her life, didn't it? She's the one taking the photos. Are you kidding me? This was the third different account of how Alexander's death had occurred that she had offered police, which both prosecutors and observers felt severely damaged her credibility. You think? And of course, that sentiment was echoed by the jurors, of course. Arias addressed comments she made in the September 2008 television interview that had been played earlier in the trial. In the interview, she stated, and I quote, "No jury is going to convict me because I am innocent. You can mark my words on that." Ooh, cocky little bitch. Sorry. That's about the third time. I'm sorry. And discussing the statement, Arias said, "At the time, I had plans to commit suicide, so I was extremely confident that no jury would convict me because I didn't expect any of you to be here. Oh my God. This girl deserved an award for her acting ability on the stand. Let me tell you what. She really did. It was crazy. At the close of his cross-examination of Arias, Martinez replayed the video and prompted Arias to confirm that she said during the interview that she would not be convicted because she was innocent. At the end of the guilt phase, the jury's foreman, William Zervakos, expressed an opinion common to jury members and courtroom observers when he told ABC's Good Morning America Arias' testimony did not do her any good. I think 18 days hurt her. You think? Wow. And on March 14, psychologist Richard Samuels testified for the defense for nearly 6 days. He said Arias was likely suffering from acute stress at the time of the killing. Oh my God, really? Why is there always an excuse? She was living somewhere, I don't know where it was, but it wasn't here. But a psychologist said she was likely suffering from acute stress. Take my job. I'd like to see how much stress he'd be under. Please, do so. Wow. I'm going to write him a letter. Richard Samuels, what a nutcase. Sending her body into a fight-or-flight mode to defend herself, which caused her brain to stop retaining memory. I'm going to use that. What do you think? Is that pliable? What do you guys think of that? I think that was a bunch of bull, too. In response to a juror question asking whether this scenario could occur, even if this was a premeditated murder, as the prosecution intended, he responded, is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No. Bull. He also diagnosed Arias with post-traumatic stress disorder. From what? Making all those margaritas and cutting her finger? I think it was a blood loss myself, but seriously? She had PTSD. From what? Prosecutor Juan Martinez attacked Samuel's credibility, accusing him of forming a relationship with Arias and being biased. Samuels had testified that he had compassion for her. Well, there you go. You think? Wow. A psychotherapist, Alice LaViolette, who specializes in domestic violence, testified that Arias was a victim of domestic abuse. Here we go. And, of course, they do not because they feel ashamed and humiliated. Wow. She summarized emails from Alexander's close friends. They had basically advised Miss Arias to move on from the relationship. That Mr. Alexander had been abusive to women. Yeah. The jury was really concerned with her credibility at this point. I can't imagine why. Where did these people come from? And where did they get their degree? That's what I want to know. Another psychologist, Janine DeMarie, testified for the prosecution. Arias did not suffer from PTSD or amnesia, and she found no evidence that Alexander had abused Arias. She thinks that she suffered from borderline personality disorder, showing signs of immaturity and an unstable sense of identity. People who suffer from such a disorder have a terrified feeling of being abandoned. And this one makes more sense. It was crazy. But again, they're all going to have their own opinion again. So, I don't know. On April 24th, in response to previous testimony that Arias gave about buying a 5-gallon gas can from a Walmart store, she returned on the same day. The prosecution called Amanda Webb a Walmart employee. No one returned a 5-gallon gas can on that date. And she had returned the gas can a week later. Ooh, I think she's going to burn the place down. Yeah, isn't that true, Valerie? That's crazy. Yeah, I think so. The final defense witness was psychologist Dr. Robert Geffner. And that all the tests taken by Arias since her arrest pointed towards an anxiety disorder. But you know what? Arias could have finagled that test to